Welcome back to the channel. In front of me I have Nelly Korda going through her warm-up. We are going to try and take some nuggets from this that can help you with your game. So Nelly,
yes.
Tell us, normal day,
yes.
Let's do tournaments rather than at home.
Okay.
Stretch in the morning, breakfast, if the tea time's at like 10 a.m. or something.
10 a.m.
And does it change for various?
Time.
Yeah, does it change for various tea times?
No, so I start my warm up with with activation.
Yeah.
So just activation through the entire body. I'm not the type of person that goes to the gym and lifts heavy weights, but a lot of bands, a lot of core, a lot of just like activation so my body is ready.
Okay.
To, you know, start warming up. But I'll do that 2 hours before my tea time. I'll go eat an hour and a half before my tea time for just a little bit, and then I'll start my warm up on the range an hour before my tea time.
Does it change then for late tea times, morning tea times? How do you pass a morning in somewhere like the UK?
I'll go get breakfast, find a coffee shop, sleep in, you know, have something where I'm not like looking at my phone too much or looking at TV, where I'm outside in daylight and my eyes just don't get tired. I think that's something that I've learned actually. It's like I would sleep in, be on my phone, watch TV, and then it would be in the afternoon. I'm like, gosh, I am so tired right now. I've been looking at a screen all day.
That's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
For you, with tournament play, do you ever look at the golf course and the players out in the morning?
No.
Desperately trying to avoid that?
Yeah, I try to avoid even looking at the leaderboard online.
Okay.
Because I don't want to like put added pressure on myself. I'm like, okay, geez, they just shot 9 under in the morning. I have to go out and play really well. You know, I'm like, okay, what? I'll obviously see the leaderboards out there and see that, but I don't need to stress myself out in a sense before I even get to the golf course.
Get it. So when you're at the course, you've done your stretching already before you get there. You make your way how far before your tee time to warm up to the actual range?
To the actual range, an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
And you'd start as you are now with your most lofted wedge? 54,
and then I'll go pitching wedge, 8 iron, 6 iron, hybrid, 3-wood driver, and then I'll go back to my 58 degree and I'll do some numbers around 60 yards.
That's very specific. I didn't expect you to label out individuals. So you go up the bag, stop, and then go to the yardages. You don't come back down the bag.
No.
Before you leave the range, do you hit the first tee shot, or do you hit any shots on the course in your mind?
No.
Awesome. Well,
I'm just more about like feeling the club face and hitting the shot shape that I want to throughout the entire bag.
Where does chipping and putting fall into this, sand shots?
So then I go, after the range, I go chip for a little around the green, then I'll hit some bunker shots, typically 6 bunker shots, and then I'll go putt. I'll start out with a line drill, so I'll put a chalk line down, do that for about 5-ish minutes, and then I'll do distance controls, and then finishing the putts if I have 4 or 5 feet. Excellent. And then I'll do some like left to righters, right to lefters. I'll walk to the first tee.
Okay, awesome. Let's see some wedges go. I can ask you some more more questions here, I'm sure. I am amazed at how specific that is. Yeah,
it's very, very specific, to the point where I always have 3 tees in my hair. And Jay, my caddy, and I have been together for so long that right as I'm warming up, before I'm warming up, I always have 3 tees right next to my balls for him to put in for me to put in my hair.
It's amazing how the routines of long-term caddies, they truly know everything about their players.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if you say you're not superstitious when it comes to playing a sport, then you're lying to yourself.
So that was the 54.
Yes.
I have a launch monitor down here. Do you ever practice with a launch monitor? Tournaments before with a launch monitor? Never look at them?
No, I don't look at them, because the thing is, no matter how hard I try, I can never mimic the distances I hit out on the golf course on the range. I'm always like 5 to 10 yards shorter out here. Okay. So no, and then I'm wasting my time because I'm trying to hit it harder and I'm actually messing up my swing.
Okay, makes sense.
So for me mentally, I just don't even want to see it. Occasionally I'll be like, okay, Jay, can you shoot that pin out there? Because I'm landing it around that area and we know that it's cold, it's windy, and I just want to know how far my 6-iron's just carrying.
Okay.
But I don't want to see it on a launch monitor because then I just get wrapped up too much in the numbers instead of visualizing before my round.
But you did say before we started that every now and again, not preparation, but you would use it as a checkpoint if you're working with your coach, and you'd look at path in particular as something you did, but that's more of an off-season thing, I assume.
That's like yeah, I mean, I'll sometimes do that Monday to Wednesday at a tournament if I'm, let's say, struggling with my swing.
Okay.
If it's just kind of going left to right and I have no idea what's going on, it's just it's a great tool to have for that, to instead of guessing, knowing exactly what's going on. Yeah. But as I said, I just don't like getting wrapped up into the numbers.
Awesome.
What I do at home though is I do like to do like the wedge combine, or like I just look at like carry numbers, and it's another, if I don't know what I want to do that day for practice, I'll just kind of work on my controlled shots.
Yeah, it's amazing how Dustin and yourself both use it in such a simple manner. It's a useful tool, but purely only carry.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a club down though, because I like, should we get a shaft over? Can I get a shaft?
Yeah, I'll get one. There? So you do that as alignment, would you?
Yeah, I always have a stick down because I tend to aim right.
Yeah. And you only use one, or do you use two?
No, one. I always just use one, and thank you.
And you do it as a parallel left to the target, right?
Yes.
And you tend to aim right because of your draw, but you try and line this up square, would you?
Yeah, so I actually aim it so about probably 10 yards left.
And this is just at that flag, got it.
10 yards left of the target. And even though I'm hitting a draw, like I want to start it at where I'm aiming and then draw it a little left.
Okay.
So I don't mind that.
So you don't mind these balls finishing left of that flag?
No.
But you want it to start on the flag?
Correct, yeah. So it's all about also just like, you're training your eyes. Your eyes are, every day you wake up, they're just different. So putting a stick down is just gonna help train your eyes in the morning. And it also then you can see the consistency of it starting online.
Fantastic. Make sure you pay attention to that. Fantastic. Do you recall the best warm-up you've ever had?
It's funny, sometimes I've had like the worst warm-ups and then played amazing out on the golf course, and then sometimes I've had the best warm-ups and I can't hit anything out there.
Okay. So you try not to read too much into your warm-up?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get if it comes to warm-ups before my rounds, then I'm just trying to get the feel. Like I want to make sure that my club is in the right spot, going back at the top. I usually ask Jason, my caddy, to look at a few to see if my swing's too long, because those are the tendencies I have, is my swing gets a little long, it starts to kind of like swing around me a little too much. So just making sure that my swing is good in the mornings and going out and executing my shot.
And you'll trust Jason's eye, I assume. You don't want to see an iPhone image of it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah,
okay.
Sometimes I want to see it, but I mean, I trust him. We've been together for almost like 7 years, so I hope I can trust him.
Well, it's in his interest.
Yeah.
Are you a divot watcher at all to see if it's aligned up well?
No, it's more of actually the steepness of the divot.
How deep the divot is. And then if the divots are too deep, how do you shallow it off?
That means I'm actually a little too steep on the way down, so I try to make sure that I'm not losing my angles in my downswing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to you, when you say losing your angles, do you mean this way with your head, or do you mean
collapse of the arms?
Okay, so you're just getting super narrow.
Yeah, I get narrow on the way down, and then when you become narrow, then your body obviously adapts, so then you kind of hit down on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I use that floaty on my arm actually, and it just helps me not like collapse my arm.
Armbands in the UK, floaties.
Yeah.
Just to translate, anyone out there in the UK, that's an armband. You challenge me on all of the transatlantic things.
Listen, we're in America. Are we on American soil? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But some of the people following are from the United Kingdom. How did this routine come about, that these are the clubs you're going to hit?
I don't know. I just started doing this from junior golf. I think my dad.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. Is your dad the person that's put, because he must have had a unique warm-up for tennis as well,
Yeah.
right?
Warm-ups are very important. If I don't stretch my body and do activation,
Awesome.
You want to have the same routine.
Awesome. It's a good sound.
Yeah, they're so nice. They just come off the face so nicely.
Never any irons off of tees?
Par threes, but not in warm-ups.
Not in warm-up.
If I hit a lot of 3-woods off the tee, let's say on a golf course, then we will hit a couple of 3-woods off the tee.
Yeah.
For my warm-up, but
That's beautiful, that.
yeah, that's nice. It's actually a very nice hybrid, not gonna lie.
I don't know if you caught that. This is actually a very nice hybrid, I'm not gonna lie. It's only like the third time she's hit it.
Yeah. I mean, look at that thing.
This thing's money. Nothing needed for that, it's in the bag.
3-wood, oh, perfect.
Let's get those 3 tees out by that golf ball, remember?
Yeah,
Where are
come
they
on.
at? Let me hump some tees down.
caddies.
They gotta go in the hair in a minute.
They do.
Yeah. Jeez, I'd be getting, here we go, 3 tees. Well, you got a lot of tees, you're never gonna run out of 3.
No.
There you go, I'm doing the job.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. Watch out, Jason. Trottie's coming for your job.
100%. I mean, it's easy when you hit it like this. That is lovely as well.
Yeah, it is very nice. Okay, which one am I going with? The max or the core? You can pick.
I think, I was going to come out with what I think you go for, but I think you're going to hit them both good. You've
What do you? What
gone
would
for
you think?
core. I think core.
Okay.
Because I think it would be a bit quicker. And
Yeah.
that would be something I'd be looking at. That's where I would lean on a launch monitor for speed and pick up. I think they'll be very close.
Yeah.
Look how low that's teed.
Yeah. A little route right.
Yeah, you don't like that, do you?
No.
That you would be spewing at that
Yeah,
point.
I would not be
I
very
understand
happy
that.
with that one.
And considering you've hit it good, that would be a worry, wouldn't it, for the first shot
I
with
would
that
be-
driver?
If I hit that, I would be like, ooh.
What would you do in a warm-up if you produced that shot?
If I know that it's me, then I would probably have to work on shortening my swing.
Okay. So you would get into some technical stuff if
Yeah,
needed.
of course, yes. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to, get ready to go out there. So if I'm not swinging it correctly, I'm not going to swing it great out there if I don't have it figured out.
There you go. What about if someone's talking to you like this during a warm-up and you don't want that, surely, right? You need
When
to
I get in the zone,
yeah.
I don't mind, obviously my team and I are super, super close. So I have Jason, I have Kim, my physio with me at all times. And occasionally, Jamie comes out or my coach, Brett, comes out.
That's a different relationship, right? That's fine.
Yeah, but we do chit chat.
Okay.
I'll hit a few and I'll go back to my bag and we'll laugh or we'll talk and keep it a little lighter.
Yeah.
And that's what I like.
Okay. It's nice there. That's real nice. It's probably your best one yet. So look, you'd be pretty much game ready now, right?
Yeah.
Chip and putting, then off you go.
Yeah.
There you have it. That is the warm-up for Nelly Korda. She's got some other places to go for this TaylorMade photo shoot. Thank you to TaylorMade for the time with Nelly. Thank you to Nelly.
you.
If you've got any questions or anything you want to comment on, get in there down below. All the Nelly stuff is in there too. We wish you all the best for the 2025
Thank
season.
you.